Don't go back to sleep. Don't go back to sleep. Don't go back to sleep. So today's video is in honor of the one and only David Crosby. I was so sorry to hear he died, partly because he's had a massive influence on me and my music, and also because he's been creating some really inspired music for the past few years, like right up to the age of 80. I mean, it was quite an amazing renaissance. So almost 30 years ago, I wrote and recorded a song that was actually a tribute to Croz. And it comes with kind of a magical true story. I think you'll get a kick out of it. Now, it's no secret that David Crosby wrestled with addiction and he could be really arrogant, but his music was almost always beautiful, deep, and spiritual, right? And a big part of that was this superlative ability he had to construct and sing these powerful stacked harmonies where he layers his voice into a one-man choir. Now, I still remember the first time I ever heard a Crosby choir. It's 1971. I'm in this hippie record store in Michigan called Indian Ocean Trading Company. It's owned by these two remarkably young brothers, the Beans. And one of them, Tom, used to put up all of his current favorite LPs on the wall. It was like his own top 10. One day I come into the store while David Crosby's song Traction in the Rain is playing on these big speakers, and it just blows my mind. So I say to Tom, who is this? And he points to Crosby's album. It's his solo album, If I Could Only Remember My Name. And it was the back cover with Crosby's face under this intense pink light. And I just kept listening, and I loved the vibe so much that I just had to buy it. So, that day I came in to buy Tumbleweed Connection by Elton John, but I left with David Crosby. So the song Orléans, or Orleans, was really my favorite. It's a traditional French song, and the lyrics are just a list of cathedrals. But Crosby built these stacked harmonies. It was all him, and it actually sounds like a cathedral choir. It still stuns me. And so do the crisp, open-tuned acoustic guitars. Now, I was about 10 years old in '71. I had no idea how he got that sound, but I knew someday I was going to figure it out, because to me, that really sounded like the musical Holy Grail. So fast forward, more than 20 years later, I'm living in LA. I finally have recording gear with enough tracks to try building my own one-man choir. And I'm reading this book of poems by an ancient Sufi mystic named Rumi, and I find a short verse called Don't Go Back to Sleep. It has incredible imagery about the door between life and death and how souls move back and forth through this place where the two worlds touch. So I leave the book open, right? And I pick up my acoustic guitar. It was actually this Gibson J50, same one I own and love today. And I just start to play and write a melody to Rumi's words. Picture this. There's a single mic up in the studio. It's about 5 or 6 feet away from me. And it's just there to capture scratch guitar vocal demos when I write songs. But this time, on the first attempt, this little 1-minute jewel of a song basically writes itself. And I'm just kind of stunned. This is a take one, mono recording, but the whole song's there. And I don't want to change anything because it's that magical first take.
The breeze at dawn whispers its secrets. You must know what you really want. Souls are moving back and forth through the doorway where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. The door is round and open. Door is round and open.
really felt channeled, like the spirit of Rumi was there with me. And then while I was thinking about what to do next, all of a sudden I felt like David Crosby was there too. I felt his presence. There was something about Don't Go Back to Sleep that reminded me of Orléans and some of his other songs. And I got inspired to try to build a Crosby choir. And I just started layering vocals, one track at a time.
Don't go back to sleep. Don't go back to sleep. Don't go back to sleep.
And these counterpoint melodies are coming to me, and they're commenting on the lead vocal, and they're echoing it, and they're strengthening the message. All in all, I don't really even remember the process, but before long I'd actually stacked 9 harmony voices, and they were singing 3 parts that interweave with the lead vocal.
Don't go back to sleep. Don't go back to sleep. Don't go back to sleep.
So there are a total of 10 voices singing 4 parts. So here it is, a song and a sound that would not exist if it weren't for David's inspiration and influence. This is the full 10-voice version of Don't Go Back to Sleep.
The breeze at dawn whispers its secret. Don't go back to sleep. You must know what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. Souls are moving back and forth through the doorway. Don't go back to sleep. Where the 2 worlds touch. The door is round and open.
So that became the opening track from my album Get This, which came out in '95. And I remember the first press review of the album. It was in this underground rock zine. I wish I could remember the name. But the reviewer was being a little snide, and he said, "This is an album your parents would love." But he compared my harmonies to David Crosby. So it was the best backhanded compliment I ever got. All right. Thank you, Croz, for taking me on your spiritual musical journeys, and really for inspiring me to take my own musical treks with stacked and layered harmonies and alternate tuned guitars. Wherever your soul is now, I know you're adding heavenly harmonies to the mix. Thanks for being here. If you want to see more, start here or visit guitardiscoveries.com.